A local authority in the UK has removed three immigrant children from their parents' care, and their employer has suspended the parents pending the outcome of ongoing investigation. This family in question moved to the UK about 9 months ago. The family comprises of a father, mother, and three children aged 9, 7, and 5. What happened to this family? It could happen to any parent. I want you to listen to this story because the father, as we speak now, is blaming the mom, while the mom is blaming the children, and she is saying it is spiritual attack. There are lessons that can be learned from this family's experience. As I always say on this platform, one of the easiest ways to learn in life is to learn from other people's experience. If you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Francis. On this channel, we share content about migration, and we also talk about the daily experiences of immigrants. As I said before, this family moved to the UK about 9 months ago. The father has a brother who has lived in the UK for more than 18 years. In fact, it was this brother that facilitated the traveling of this family to the UK. According to the older brother who lives in the UK, this is not the first time he has helped his brother to try leave their home country. In fact, this is the third time the brother has spent a lot of money to try to help his brother. So when the brother told the one that lives in the UK that he has been granted work permits to come to the UK with his family, the one that lives in the UK long enough advised him to first of all come to the UK. Once he finds his feet, then he will then bring his family to come and join them. The gentleman that was back in their home country discussed his brother's proposal with his wife, who advised him against it, and the wife insisted that they all come together. The initial plan was for them to live with the older brother who has lived in the UK, but because the brother was insisting that his younger brother come first, when the family were coming to the UK, they did not even tell the older brother that they were coming to the UK. The brother later found that where they were staying, that they were struggling because the family of three were living with somebody who was telling them that they needed to find a place. Someone asked him, why is it that your brother is not aware? The guy said he doesn't know. The brother heard, he called his brother when they were squatting with this family. The brother did not want to talk too much. He later realized that when his brother was with his wife, he doesn't want to speak to his brother anymore. The brother just decided to leave them. The family now eventually rented a place. The man worked in care. His wife worked in care as well. However, what they were doing due to childcare, which a lot of immigrants are familiar with this, the man works days and the woman works nights. On this fateful day, the man went to work. When the time he was supposed to finish, there was a delay in handover. The staff that was supposed to come and relieve him did not come on time. The wife waited that the man didn't come on time. She called the man. The man now suggested that she goes to work, that it's not going to be long before he joins the family, that he doesn't think that the person that is coming to relieve him is going to take time because they've already told him over the phone that they will be there, that it's not going to take long. So the woman left the three children unattended. She went to work, thinking it's not going to be long before her husband come home. If you know anyone who lives in the Western world who has children, please kindly share this video with them, because there are lessons that we can learn from this story. As I said before, this family, this parent, they've lost custody of their children, and the parents have been suspended by their employer. The man did not come on time. He said the person that was supposed to relieve him was delayed because that person's transport was delayed. Eventually, the person now relieved the man after almost 55 minutes. By the time the man left work, he missed his bus. He did not get home on time. The children, the older one, the 9 years old, was playing and watching cartoon at home. The remaining children, the 5 years old and the 7 years old, they were playing in the kitchen. The 7 years old now said she wants to make chocolate hot drink for the younger one. She turned the electric water boiler on, and she was boiling water. She put the chocolate in cup, wanted to help her baby sister prepare the chocolate drink. The water was hot. Where the child was trying to put the water into the cup, she now poured the water mistakenly on her sister's face, and it burned the sisters from the neck to the face and burned the sister. The sister was crying in tears, crying profoundly. The older one did not know what to do. They were all crying. The three children were crying. The neighbor now called the police because she heard three children crying, and she wasn't hearing any adult in the background. As soon as she called the police that she's worried, the police then came to the house. They tried to open the door. There was no adult in the door. They had to force the door open. They eventually found three children unattended. One of them is crying profoundly with burns all over her body. The police immediately called the ambulance. The ambulance eventually arrived. Meanwhile, the father was still on his way back from work, coming home. The ambulance arrived. They treated this girl. The father was still nowhere to be found. They took the three children. The police had to take the remaining children, one to hospital by the ambulance. The remaining two, the police used what is known as the police power of protection. That is where the police are concerned about the welfare of children. The law says in the UK that they have a duty to remove those children from such environment to a place of safety. In this case, the police had to remove the two children. They took them to hospital while the ambulance took the other one to hospital for treatment. They left a card in the house for the dad to contact them as soon as possible. This story, someone will learn a lesson. If you know anyone that lives in the Western world that has children, it doesn't matter which country you are, the government in the United States, Canada, Australia, and most Western world have a duty to safeguard children. So they will learn from this family's experience. By the time the father eventually came back from work, his door had been forced open. He knew something wasn't right because he didn't see his children. He eventually found the card that the police left in the door, and he contacted the police. The police asked him to come to their station. The man didn't know what was going on because he didn't even see because he was late by the time he came back, the neighbor wasn't around. By the time he arrived at the police station, the police told him that they have his two children, and they asked him where he was. The man panicked and lied to the police. Meanwhile, the children had already told the police that their father had gone to work. The man said he was at home. He just went to buy things from his friend, not knowing that the police was in the house for a long time and there was nobody, no adult in the house. The police now arrested the man. They detained him for almost 22 hours. They eventually released him, and they told his wife to come to the police station to come and give statement. As soon as the police arrested the man, like in every case where children are involved and the employer works with vulnerable people, the police have a duty to share that information with multi-agency team. That is, they will share that information with the local authority, the employers, to safeguard vulnerable adults. So in this case, the police reported the information to the employer. The LADO, for those that live outside the UK, the LADO is the local authority designated officer. Those are people that make sure that anyone that works with vulnerable people, that if there are concerns about them, that they take action to protect vulnerable people. So the employer suspended this man. The wife employer were also notified. They suspended this man. The two children and the last one that was suffered burn, they were all taken into the care of the local authority and placed with a foster carer. Now, for those outside the UK, when we say a child is placed with a foster carer, what we mean is that the child has been placed with a carer who will then be taking care of the children pending the outcome of the investigation by the local authority. And this, in most cases, is like a normal parent who is paid by the local authority to take care of children who cannot live with their parent. Before you know what, this case has gone to the length that the parents never anticipated. The three children were now placed with foster carer. The police told their parents that they have committed two crimes. One, criminal neglect. That is the crime that the police is going to be investigating. And social services, that social workers, are going to be investigating the parent for neglect to make sure, to determine whether the children can remain with their parent. The case was allocated to a social worker who came to see the family. Meanwhile, when local authorities remove children in the care of their parents, they always try to promote contact. That means that even though the children have been removed from their parents, they also make sure that the children have some form of contact with their parent. If you're seeing value for this content you're watching this afternoon, please kindly share this video with anyone that you know will benefit. I am sure you know someone who lives in the Western world who has children who could benefit from this content. And make sure you give this video a like. Leave your comment in the comment section box, because we're seeing blame game. Parents are blaming the father, the mother is blaming the 9 years old, while the dad is blaming the mom. So when the children were placed in the care of the local authority, the mom went to see the child. The day she came to see the child, she was blaming the 9 years old, that she is responsible for the family ordeal, that because she did not supervise contact between her siblings, that is why the 7 years old used hot water to burn the younger one. After the contact, the girl was crying and told the foster carer what had happened, and the foster carer now reported this back to the local authority because the girl was distressed after the contact. Meanwhile, while all these things was happening, the man's brother, who has lived in the UK for more than 18 years, was not aware of what was happening. So he called their home country and he was told that your brother is going through this. Why are you not supporting your brother? The guy said, what are you talking about? I am not aware of what is happening with my brother. They said, did your brother not tell you? He said, no. That is when they now told him what was happening. Meanwhile, after the mom had contact with the girl and that she accused the girl of being responsible for the family's ordeal, she now called their uncle who lives in their home country to tell the uncle what has happened. The uncle now called the foster carer because the children told the foster carer that they have relative in their home country. The uncle called the foster carer and spoke with the girl and was telling the girl that you have to go and beg your parents, because your parents, they have done everything to remove you from your home country for you to have a good life, and look at what you've caused. You have to go and beg your parents. Whilst the uncle was shouting on the girl on the phone, the foster carer heard what was going on, and the foster carer now told the local authority again that, look, this family, the mom had contact with this child, and she was blaming this child. Now somebody is calling from their home country who is now blaming this child for what was happening, and the local authority now said, okay, we have serious concerns about this family's conduct, to the point where now we are not going to allow them to have any contact with the children. We're going to have supervised contact. Somebody will have to be present. When the family when the parents have contact with their children, they will not be allowed to see these children alone. And also, the contact, they are going to reduce the frequency and the duration of the contact. As I'm speaking to you right now, these parents, they cannot go to work because the employer have suspended them. The contact between them and the children have been reduced significantly. The daughter is upset that every time she sees her parent, they are blaming her for what has happened to the younger ones, and the family, they are in turmoil. What are the lessons when this man now eventually, when the brother that lives in the UK for 18 years now eventually contacted his brother to say, look, so all these things were happening. You did not tell me what was going on, and you kept all this from me? The brother now said, well, my wife said I shouldn't tell you because you are enemies of progress. When we were moving to the UK, that because you did not want to accommodate our family, that is why you were telling only me to come first. And the brother now said, so your wife told you to stay away from your brother who spent a lot of money for you to move to the UK. This is not the first time that I've tried to help you. And now you are a man who is approaching 40. Your wife will tell you not to speak to your brother, and you came to this country for more than 9 months. You did not even call me. And the brother is saying, well, this thing, it's your fault. It could have been avoided, but because you are so blind that you listen to your wife, you allow your wife to control you to the point where you lost your common sense. Meanwhile, the mom is saying it is spiritual attack, that it is spiritual attack. It's spiritual attack, and blaming the young 9-year-old girl. I want to know what your views are. I am sure there are a lot of people that are in similar, that could learn from this experience, because it is very common for you to see somebody who is moving abroad for the first time. When they ask you for favor and you say to them, look, I can't do this favor for you because this thing is not as easy as you think from outside. Even when the people come, when they come to the country and they themselves have seen that, look, it's not the way you see it from outside. That is not how it is. They still do not want to show any remorse to say, you know what, I have learned, I made a mistake by thinking that, oh, if you come to the UK, you're going to be picking money on the floor. You live in a 10-bedroom house. The family realized the man did not even show any remorse to even say, okay, let me reach out to my brother. And now he's now saying that it is the wife that stopped him from contacting the brother. There are lessons that we can learn from this story. This story is about being ingrateful. Someone helped you to come to the country. You ask for a favor, and he said to you, look, the three of you with your three children, you can't come to the UK at first. You, the man, come first. All of a sudden, you disengage from that man. Let me know what your views are. I am sure that lessons can be learned from this story, because if this family, if these parents had watched a video like this, most likely they would have learned lesson and they would not have made the mistakes that they made. Please, if you know anyone that lives in the Western world, kindly share this video with them. Leave your comment in the comment section. Give this video a like so that more people, especially people from immigrant community, can see it, so that we can educate our people, because a lot of people are going through similar experience. These parents now, if the parents are found guilty for criminal negligence, they may have to serve time. Meanwhile, their visa is at risk of being revoked, because the employer is not going to wait for them if this drags on. Everything that they have worked for, they have lost it because of ego, because of not wanting to show humility. This thing could have been avoided. Let me know what your views are. Please kindly share this video with anyone that you know will benefit. I'm sure you know somebody in the Western world who can learn from this experience. Leave your comment, give this video a like. If you have any story that you want to share with myself and my team, you can contact us on our WhatsApp number, which is 07548804402. I repeat, 07548804402. We will assess this story. If we think that we can learn lessons, we can all share the story. Please do not call the number. Just leave your message. Go straight to the point, because we are receiving a lot of messages. We don't have time to be going through long messages. Straight to the point, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So let me know what your views are. Don't forget to share this content. And if you're joining us for the first time, please kindly subscribe to this channel. Our goal is to make sure that we give people from minority community the information that would enable them to avoid mistakes like this, and anything that would improve their life chances, we will also share with you as well. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. May God bless you. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.